The waiting room was silent, except for the faint buzz of an old fluorescent light. Dozens of applicants sat in neat rows, pressed suits, and polished shoes, clutching their resumes like shields. But in the far corner sat a young black woman whose trembling hands weren't holding a resume at all. Instead, she cradled a sleepy 3-year-old boy who clung to her dress with a tired grip, his curly head buried against her shoulder. Her name was Monica James, and at 27 years old, she was about to walk into an interview that could change her life if the world gave her even half a chance. The receptionist's eyes darted toward her again, narrowing in judgment. Whispers rose from the other applicants. A mother bringing her child to a corporate interview? To them, it looked unprofessional. To Monica, it was survival. She had begged her neighbor to watch her son, Malik, but the neighbor's own child had fallen sick. With no family to lean on and no money for childcare, Monica had only two choices: stay home and lose the opportunity, or bring Malik with her and risk rejection. She chose the latter, because hope was all she had left. When her name was finally called, Monica adjusted her faded blazer, lifted Malik onto her hip, and walked into the boardroom. 3 interviewers sat across a long table, their suits immaculate, their expressions tight with disapproval. The oldest man in the middle raised an eyebrow. "Ms. James," he began, his tone clipped, "you brought a child?" Monica's voice shook, but she held her chin high. "Yes, sir. I had no other option today, but I wasn't going to miss this opportunity. I can assure you I am hardworking, dedicated, and—" "Stop." The woman on the panel cut her off sharply. "This is a professional environment. Bringing a child here shows poor judgment. We cannot take you seriously." Malik stirred, looking up at his mother with wide, confused eyes. Monica's heart clenched. She wanted to disappear, but she also wanted to fight back. She opened her mouth, desperate to explain, but before she could, the door swung open. In walked a tall man in his early 40s, dressed in a simple charcoal suit without a tie. His presence immediately shifted the room. He was Ethan Carter, the Millionaire CEO of the company, someone whose face Monica had only seen in newspaper articles. The panelists straightened nervously, their harsh demeanor softening at once. Ethan's gaze swept the room, landing on Monica and the small boy on her lap. Instead of frowning, he smiled. "Well, this is new," he said lightly. "Who do we have here?" The interviewers scrambled to explain. "Mr. Carter, this candidate brought a child to the interview. We were just dismissing her." Ethan held up his hand. "Dismissing her? For what? For showing up, despite the odds stacked against her? That sounds like dedication to me." Monica's eyes widened, unsure if she was dreaming. Ethan crouched down to Malik's level. "Hey, buddy. What's your name?" "Malik," the boy whispered shyly. "That's a strong name," Ethan said with a grin before standing back up. He looked at Monica. "Tell me about yourself, Ms. James. Don't worry about the formalities. I want to hear your story." Her voice broke as she began. She told them how she'd grown up in the rougher parts of the city, raised by a single mother who worked 2 jobs until illness took her away too soon. She explained how she had worked as a waitress for nearly 7 years, balancing shifts, bills, and motherhood after Malik's father abandoned them. Despite it all, she had taken online courses at night, determined to build a better life. This job, an entry-level administrative role, was her chance to step out of poverty and into possibility. The room fell silent. The panelists avoided her eyes, but Ethan never looked away. He saw not just a candidate, but a fighter. "Ms. James," Ethan finally said, "you remind me of my own mother. She raised me on her own, worked night and day, and taught me that strength isn't measured by what you have, it's measured by what you do when you have nothing. You've already proven you have more determination than half the people I've hired. So here's my decision: you're not only getting this job, you're starting as my personal executive assistant. I need someone who understands hard work, sacrifice, and loyalty. I think that's you." Tears filled Monica's eyes. The panelists gawked in disbelief. Malik tugged her sleeve and whispered, "Mommy, we did it?" She hugged him tightly, unable to speak.
but that was only the beginning. Working directly under Ethan wasn't easy.
Monica faced whispers from colleagues who doubted her, sneers from those who thought she'd gotten the job out of pity, and endless pressure balancing late nights at the office with bedtime stories for Malik. Some days she cried herself to sleep, wondering if she could really handle it all.
Yet every time she felt weak, she remembered that boardroom, the humiliation she'd endured, and the unexpected lifeline Ethan had thrown her way. She wasn't going to waste it.
Slowly, Monica proved herself. She reorganized entire systems that had been inefficient for years, impressed major clients with her professionalism, and even suggested community outreach projects that Ethan eagerly supported.
Malik often spent afternoons in Ethan's office, where the CEO would sneak him candy and tell him stories about building dreams from nothing.
1 year later, Monica stood in front of the entire company at an employee event. She shared her journey openly, the struggles, the rejection, and the second chance she'd been given. Her voice shook, but her message was powerful: never let shame or judgment make you believe you're less. Sometimes the very thing people reject you for becomes your strength.
My son is not my weakness, he's my reason. And I stand here today because one person chose to see that.
The crowd erupted in applause. Ethan, watching from the sidelines, felt proud not of himself, but of the woman who had taken her shot despite the odds. Monica had become more than just his assistant. She was proof that resilience and kindness could change lives. And for Monica, the greatest victory wasn't the paycheck or the title. It was Malik looking up at her that night and saying, "Mommy, I'm proud of you."
Final message to viewers. Friends, if this story touched your heart, let me ask you something: what would you have done if you were in Monica's shoes? Would you have walked away from that interview, or shown up no matter the odds? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective.
And if you believe in the power of kindness, resilience, and second chances, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and join our family here on Be Kind Always. Together, we can keep spreading stories that inspire hope and remind us all to never give up.